Hey everybody, it's Ashley, and I know that I said that I was going to talk about my relocation um, from St. Louis to Charlotte, and I'm breaking it down into pieces. The first video talked about how like it saved, like literally relocating saved my life because I was kind of like just down and out. But now I want to kind of get in nitty gritty with the real estate agent that I had. I've learned a lot of lessons in my 40s, and I talk about that quite often. Um, I learned about peace and boundaries and how to just let go, and but it does not the lessons that I've learned in life do not compare to the almost traumatic experience that I had with my real estate agent. So, welcome back to my channel. And today I'm going to talk to you about the absolute circus that was my moving process because I uprooted my whole life, and moving across the state like lines, like I have never done it before. So for me, it was like, for one, I couldn't believe I was doing it. Like, oh my gosh, you're moving, you're moving, you're moving. And then it's like the next thing is like, okay, don't have anxiety, don't pull back. And then the third thing, I hired you, the real estate agent. Now I'm gonna get into the movie company's next video. But right now I want to focus on a real estate agent. I hired you to make this the least stressful thing on me. And it was a debacle. Now, as you know, if you don't know, my name's Ashley. Hi. But I'm a Taurus. I like stability. I like structure. I like people doing what they said they're going to do when they're going to do it. And it's just done. When I was preparing to transition out of here, I thought, I'm going to hire a professional, sell this thing and get it taken care of. Wrong. I mean, eventually it did sell and it did, it did take, I did, was able to take care of things, but I had some red flags with the situation that I want to make sure that other people that are thinking about relocating, I didn't know. I had no idea. So there's probably 1,000 other people who did the research and still didn't think that these situations will come up because I try to prepare for everything. So I'm just sharing what I went through. And I'm just gonna say that, my real estate agent, she didn't choose customer service. She chose straight up chaos. Okay. So I'm gonna paint a picture of what the nightmare from my nightmare actually meant in this scenario. Okay. So it wasn't just poor communication, it was active, expensive audacity, ladies and gentlemen. Because first, I told this woman I needed to sell the house immediately, right? And meaning, and just give you some context, I was laid off for an entire year, okay? Finances was definitely of the utmost importance. So I told her, time is money, money is time. She said, I got you. She even looked at everything to make sure I wasn't in the process of losing my home, which I was not. Um, she created the contract. She came over, she looked at things, she said she was going to update things. It was really neat. But she gave me the contract. And again, this wasn't a red flag for me because this is the first time I sold a home without purchasing another home. Or I have never done this before. So again, newbie here, to all of this, even though this was my second home, but like I never sold a house not to move into another one. So the protocol is different. So, first of all, she trapped me in a 6-month contract and conveniently forgot to actually send over the scope of work detailing what was supposed to be done for me with the house. Now, that was the first red flag because she sent over contracts and she kept saying she went through the house initially, she did her tour, and then she said, well, Ashley, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do this. You're going to make so much money off of your house. You definitely have equity here. And I said, cool. So in Missouri, your house has to go up on the MLS, I believe, within 5 business days of you signing the contract. She never put my house on the NML or NMLS or MLS. Correct me in the comments, please. Um, she never put the house as coming soon, so nobody knew that I had a listing. I was recruiting people from church, like, hey, you know, are you interested in buying my house? My house is up for sale, because she was not even shopping the deal out to anyone. Okay. Now, let me back this up and take my accountability. I knew that I still owned that home when I came to Charlotte. I had to get out of here, out of Missouri, quick, fast, in a hurry, because not only was my new job starting, but I had to come in and sign the lease and take ownership and physically take the keys on a particular day. So the moving company was not able to take all of my items like they quoted me. And again, there's going to be another video about the moving company. So I had to leave things there. Therefore, her contractors, they went in and moved the things that I left into the garage. Perfectly fine with that. That was on me. That was me delaying the process in some way, shape, form, or fashion. Okay. So I'm not sitting up here saying that I was completely innocent. I just, the situation just wasn't the greatest, if you will. So then time goes on, no deal, no MLS, no works being done, no contract was sent for the work to be done. She got a lot of quotes. She kept telling me, oh, everything's in my shopping cart for your orders and to redo your house, the whole nine. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. She never sent a contract telling me what she was going to do, how much was going to come out of the equity, and how much, you know what I mean? Like she was going to do, fix it up for me. She was going to put the house on the market. She was fronting the money to fix up the house. Okay. Cause I was financially strapped at this point. Like I had been laid off a year. So she was going to put work into the house. Okay. Again, maybe I'm naive. I didn't know, but I don't want you to fall in the same trap. That's why I'm using this experience to keep you from having the same experience. Right. So I never got any type of okay for work to be done. She never had me sign off on anything for the work to be done. So as time went on, I'm desperate because I'm managing a mortgage payment and now I got a rent payment. So I'm like in Charlotte. So I'm like, okay, I call her, let's just put the house on the market as is. Now, conveniently, she's out of town when I text her this, and she supposedly lost her cell phone. The next day, before she could even look at her emails, because she doesn't look at her email until late at night, the next day she comes in and she says, uh, no. The next day she comes in and just has her contractors take up the backsplash in my kitchen. So they destroyed the aesthetic in my kitchen without my permission because I told her, let's put it on the market as is. Okay. She cost me money and delayed my timeline. You know, while she was playing HGTV Demolition Derby, she never even put the house up as coming soon. So the house wasn't even listed. Like, what were we doing? So, oh, honey, let me just. The delusion peaked when she found out that I started talking to another agent at this point. Okay. Cause I'm like, I got to get this house moved. I'm going back and forth between St. Louis. My grandmother's sick. She transitioned, like, I'll tell you that in a moment. But yeah. Um, but I have zero tolerance for middle school playground tactics. She was trying to bully the new agent that I didn't even sign with yet, just getting some advice on how to navigate this current situation. So instead of her rectifying the issue and saying and coming to me, she went through her agent or her whatever the big agent is, her master agent. I don't know what it's called. I'm not a real estate agent, okay? But she went through her broker, I guess, and they talked to the agent that I was currently seeking. They didn't ask to rectify the issue. You know what they did? Oh, we want 10% of that. We want her commission. That's all they went for. Careless, right? So, she just completely stressed me out. And I'm going to tell y'all something. For real, I had to pray. I walked around the lake by my place and I said, God, I don't know what's getting ready to happen, but I am struggling right now. And I said, Grandpa, if you can hear me, I need help. Fats needs help. That's my grandpa's nickname for me. He transitioned in '09. So she tore up the kitchen. She did all of this stuff, put me in a 6-month contract. Now let me tell you why that's a red flag, okay? The 6 month contract basically allowed her to have free range with my house for 6 months. I thought she was doing that because that was standard. Again, me not being knowledgeable in everything. I can't know everything. And then on top of that, she just didn't even touch my listing until I reached out to her. Now I had cameras in the house because I still own the house at this point in time. Not now, but at the time that this was all going down. So I could see that you haven't even come by the house. You haven't done anything to tell me that you're getting quotes or you're trying to shop the house around. You haven't done anything until I call you. So that was the biggest red flag. She had no intentions of putting my house on the market until December. This whole process started in July. School is out. People want to shop to see school districts. Now, I didn't have no shabby looking house. My house was nice. And it was in a fairly decent school district. Well, wait a minute. I don't have kids, so I don't know what districts are great anymore. But my taxes was high. Let's put it that way. So, I just didn't understand why she took her time with my listing, knowing that I trusted her. And she came to me as a referral. I had to file a legit complaint on her through the state because they need. How many other people have you done this to? Oh, she done took big trips. She done went out of town 2 times. She pulled up in a nice little. I ain't gonna say what it was. She had a nice car. Okay, now mine ain't shabby, but I'm like, oh baby, you out here, And I'm not gonna say her name because I'm not going to demean my sister like that. She was black owned business, but the reason why I don't want to put her name out there because I could have been a one off. I could have been a one off situation. She may always handle her business, and I could have been the anomaly, right? But a 6 month contract for your house to be put on the market, and she knows time is of the essence. These are things that you have to look into and check behind yourself. One, I will say, do more research if you have time. I was in a situation where I didn't have a lot of time. Do as much research on your real estate agent as you possibly can. Two, if you go through someone like Zillow, know that they're going to do the work, but they get paid 50% of the commission that you're paying out because Zillow takes the other 50%. So that cuts into them. So they may or may not have a sense of urgency with your listing. And again, if you're a real estate agent, I'm not demeaning anything that you all do, but this is just kind of the things that I learned. If you're going to have to sell, if you're going to relocate, my recommendation would be to have the house sold before you move. I was in a situation where I had a beautiful opportunity in Charlotte, North Carolina. I didn't know how to navigate this thing, and all I had was me and my dog. So these are things that I don't want you to fall victim to. If a person puts you in a 6 month contract for your house to be sold, don't sign it. I messed up and signed it. Don't sign it. Because that to me shows me you don't have a sense of urgency with my listing. You're going to take your time. And even if they don't take their time, even if you tell them you can take up to 6 months, specify that when you tell them what you're looking for because they ultimately work for you. She kind of had the attitude that I worked for her, and I'm like, no, ma'am, I'm paying you you getting a nice commission off this sale. Nice. Okay. And you are completely throwing away my listing. So just do your research on your real estate agent. It was a every week I would have to call her to get an update on my listing. And she was out of town, or I would email her. Oh, I don't get an email back until midnight. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm an hour ahead, but that means you still didn't get to my email till 11 o'clock at night. Well, I don't have a lot of time, and I'm just busy between listings and this, and the other. I'm like, okay, I understand that, sweetheart, but I'm in a horrible situation right now, which I thank God for the situation. I'm gonna give you the highlights of it. What this situation taught me was I can't control everything. Okay. And it taught me to be grateful in the moment. It taught me not to worry because guess what? It worked itself out. I had to call in a favor to my grandpa in heaven. But it worked out. And I was so stressed because I had to insure the other house. I had to insure my apartment or condo. I had to, it was just a lot. And I just want people that are going to be relocating to have as much knowledge as possible. I'm trying to be the resource that I didn't have when I relocated. And I'm pretty sure that there was somewhere out there, but it just didn't fall in my algorithm when I was looking for it. So, um, beware if they put you in a 6 month contract. I sound like a broken record. Ask them questions. Ask them, hey, 6 months is a long time if you're trying to sell it quick. Because at that point in time when I was selling my home, it was a seller's market. It wasn't no buyer's market. It was seller's market. It wasn't enough houses on the market when I was trying to sell. So I hope that this helps someone. If you are a real estate agent, you know, comment. If you aren't a real estate agent and you're thinking about relocating, comment. I would love to engage with you. I have my community up so you can post if you want to let me know about any other content that you want to see. But this is near and dear to my heart. So, yeah, the next video will be about the moving company and what not to do. But a 6 month contract and little to no conversation or communication, and the only time things are moved is when you phone call your agent. That's a red flag. Please, please, please reevaluate that situation. I'm Ashley. Please hit like, hit share, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff, right? Until next time. Bye.